Yo, YouTube, what is up? Kid Cudi here, and today I'm bringing you some more Battlefield 4 tips and tricks. And today I'm going to be talking about voices and how it's a very useful tip. Now, when I say voices, it may sound like a very simple tip, but it's a very useful tip at the same time. And I'm going to go more in depth with it, and I'm going to show you how it makes you a better Battlefield 4 player overall. So stay tuned. It's going to really help your game if you don't know it by now, because there's still some people who don't, know how play the game. So basically what I mean by voices is the voiceover your player makes. Now if you're on a Chinese team, you make a Chinese voice. If you're on the Russian team, your voice is Russian, and if you're on an American team, you hear an English voice. Now there's voices that you make when you spot, when you need a medic, and basically when you need ammo, something like that, that you hear. And there's voices that you also don't hear when your teammate's getting shot at, or not when your teammate's getting shot at. When you're getting shot at, you say, "Oh, I got shot." Or if a teammate is down next to you and he died, you'll say, "Teammate down," or something like that. He's down or something like that. So there's voices that you do hear and voices you don't hear. Now, why this is a very useful tip is because let's say you're American and there's you know that you should only be hearing English, right? So you go into you go into a base, yada yada yada, and all of a sudden you hear a voice that's not English. So pretty much what that means is there's an enemy player next to you. That's an automatic indicator of that's not your teammate. If you hear a voice that's not a part of your country, that's the opposite language of you, automatically that's an enemy person. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is in this gameplay is 4 clips of how how it can be very useful. I'm going to tell you what team I'm on, what I should be hearing, what voice, what my team should be speaking. When I hear the voice, I'm going to pop up when I hear the opposite team voice. And it's not going to be me talking. It's just going to be gameplay. I hope you hear the sounds. It's going to be very loud so you can hear it. And I'm going to show you on how I hear it and how this thing can be very useful. I promise you. Let me just get back into it, and I'll meet you later on. In this first clip, what you're going to be seeing is that I'm on the American team, the US going up against the Chinese. And since I'm American, I already know that the only language spoken is English. So as soon as I hear a different language, I'm going to react to it. Now, right now, I'm just the video is paused, but as soon as I start, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let this whole clip run through. Sound only. I'm not going to be talking. As you're going to notice when I hear the voice and how I react to it. As you just saw, I was on the American team, like I said, going up against the Chinese, and I already know that the only language that the Americans speak is English. And as soon as I heard the Chinese voice, after I was going out of the elevator outside, I wasn't really worried about what was going inside. And as soon as I heard the Chinese voice, I immediately turned around and tried to find the Chinese that I heard from, the top floor. I knew I heard it from somewhere up there, and I looked for them and I found them. In this next clip, what you're going to be seeing is that I'm also on the American team once again, going up against the Chinese. And like I said in the other clip, I already know since I'm on the American team that all I'm going to hear is English from my team. So as soon as I hear the opposite team, which in this case, once again, is Chinese, I immediately react to it and search and find the enemy player. As you can see, I was the US going up against the Chinese team, and since I'm American, all I should be hearing is English. And as soon as I hear the enemy team or another voice, in this case Chinese, after I hear a Chinese voice, I immediately know it's the enemy and I should look for them. And if you listen closely, you can hear 2 of them. After the one that I indicated that I heard, there was another one right after it, and I really don't know if there were 2, but I know I heard one, and I found the one. I don't really know the two because I died, but I found the guy, at least one of them that I heard, and at least got the kill on him. In this next clip, the third clip, what you'll be seeing is that I'm on the U.S. team once again, but this time I'm going up against the Russians. Just like the Chinese, just like the other two clips, I already know that the Americans are only going to speak English, and as soon as I hear the other team speak, I should know that it's the opposite team, and I should, find them because there's an enemy around me somewhere. As you can see, I'm American versus the Russians, and in this clip, it's kind of low the first time because there's a tank behind me, so you can't really hear the Russians too clear the first time, but I know that I'm American, and the only language that I should be hearing is English around me, and I kind of hear something different that wasn't English. Like, I could have heard a squirrel, and I would have, I would have looked in there, like, I would have found them, but I heard something that wasn't English, so I knew it was Russian. Now, I knew he was somewhere in this pile after I heard him. I was going to go straight. And as soon as I heard the little mumble, I went to the pile and hit a left immediately. Now, once I shoot at him, you can actually hear him yell a little bit louder in Russian that he's getting shot at. And as soon as I kill him, the guy who spawned on him, after I saw him spawn on him. So that really wasn't, I didn't need any voice to see that. But as soon as I killed the first guy, and I throw the grenade, and kill the first guy, you can see that, you can hear that the second guy actually yells as well in Russian, so you can kind of see how key this voice thing is. In this last clip, the last one, I promise that I'm finally not American anymore. This time I'm Chinese, and I already know, like I said before, I should be hearing Chinese voice since I'm Chinese this time, right? So the Americans are going to be speaking English, and as soon as I hear obviously not Chinese and I hear an English voice, I already know that it's the enemy team, an enemy player nearby me, and I should go find them and kill them. As you just saw, I was the Chinese going up against the US. I should only be hearing Chinese, and I hear a English voice, in this case the US team. You can hear him say, "I'm throwing a grenade," in English, so I already know this is the opposite team and I should find him. And let me just say, I hope that was not his grenade, because that was a big grenade. That was like 18,000 grenades in one. Like, that was a cannon. So I don't think that was his grenade. I think it was something else that hit at the same time. But you can hear him say, "I'm throwing a grenade," and as soon as he says that, I go upstairs, look to my left, because that's where I heard it from, and kill him. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I try to describe it as best as possible on what I mean by voices, but pretty much what I mean is, if you hear an opposite voice other than what your team should be, if you're Chinese, and if you don't hear Chinese, it's 100% of the time an opposite player. It's the enemy player, and you should go do something about it because he's in your area. If you can hear something that's not from your team, then there's an enemy player next to you. That's pretty much what I'm trying to describe and showcase in this video, if I really didn't get my point across too clear. But if you have any more questions about it and what I completely mean, because I didn't really want to do 20 minutes with this. I want to kind of get it really in 5 minutes, but that just seemed like very, very fast. I don't know, but try to get it as best as possible explained to you. And it may sound like a very, very simple tip. Like I said, very easy. Like, why would it be a tip? But people don't even know about spotting yet. Like, I'm just trying to help people one day at a time get better at Battlefield 4, become a better Battlefield 4 player that people don't even know about this yet. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I try to describe it and explain it as best as possible. But like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy it. And if you do subscribe, I'll give you all foot rubs. That's right. My big old hands. They're not big. They're probably like women. They're smaller like women hands. I don't know. I don't even know. But I'll give you a nice foot rub. I don't even care if you got, fungus. I don't care. I'll lick it. Yep. We're gonna end it like that. Yep.